Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Pope Francis has expressed profound concern regarding the ongoing conflict in Gaza. He reiterated his call for an immediate ceasefire, as conveyed by Archbishop Gabriele Gaccia, the Holy See's permanent observer, to the United Nations. The Archbishop emphasised the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza and underscored the Pope's condemnation of the 7th of October terrorist attack by Hamas in Israel. He advocated for a ceasefire to create room for dialogue, aiming to secure the release of hostages in Gaza and facilitate the much-needed distribution of humanitarian aid. He reiterated the Holy See's support for the two-state solution with an internationally guaranteed special status for Jerusalem. Archbishop Gaccia urged the international community, along with the leaders of Palestine and Israel, to pursue this solution with renewed determination for the sake of humanity prevailing over the hardness of the heart. A significant humanitarian initiative focused on the children of Gaza is set to commence. It's spearheaded by the Italian government in collaboration with Egyptian authorities and with the agreement of Israeli authorities. The initiative entails the transfer of approximately 100 children affected by the conflict in Gaza to various Italian hospitals. Given the challenging circumstances for their treatment in Gaza itself, this endeavour aims to provide them with the necessary medical care. The children will cross the border into Egypt, and from there they will be airlifted to Rome's Ciampino airport. Subsequently, they will be admitted to different Italian paediatric hospitals. The Bambino Gesù Hospital will oversee the initial reception and distribution to medical facilities. Other participating hospitals include Gaslini in Genoa, Meyer in Florence and Rizzoli in Bologna. 6 nuns from the Congregation of St. Anne, who were kidnapped on the 19th of January in Port-au-Prince in Haiti, have reportedly been released, along with 2 other laypeople. According to local media reports, the bus in which they were travelling was stopped by unidentified armed men. They were then abducted, and a ransom of $3.5 million was demanded. Archbishop Max Leroy Messidor, president of the Haitian Bishops' Conference, confirmed the news of their release to Vatican media and expressed gratitude for the aid given. During his Sunday Angelus, Pope Francis had appealed for their release and demanded an end to violence in the country. Ecumenical solemn Vespers were hosted by Pope Francis to close the week of prayer for Christian unity at Rome's Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls on Thursday. The Holy Father preached on the parable of the Good Samaritan and the example of St. Paul in letting God's love transform one's will, as well as working for Christian unity. He said that Christians must never forget to pray for an end to wars, especially in Ukraine and in the Holy Land. The Anglican Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, and Orthodox Metropolitan Polycarp of Italy and other representatives joined the Holy Father for the prayer service. More than 2,000 people attended the Vespers for the solemnity of the conversion of St. Paul. The Pope-appointed bishop for the diocese of Zhengzhou in the Chinese province of Henan was consecrated on Thursday this week. In December last year, Pope Francis made the episcopal appointment of Father Tadeo Wang Yuesheng. With the installation of the new bishop, the 70-year wait after the expulsion of his predecessor comes to an end at long last. The appointment came within the framework of a provincial agreement signed between the Holy See and the People's Republic of China back in 2018. Since then, there have been 6 episcopal ordinations in China. The newly installed bishop was ordained as a priest in 1993 and had been serving as the parish priest in the Huiji district of Zhengzhou since December in 2011. Amid a heated abortion debate in Germany, the government is taking steps to regulate pro-life protests. The family minister Lisa Paus of the Green Party introduced a draft law on January the 24th to establish a 100-metre radius ban around abortion clinics and family planning centres, preventing demonstrators from approaching. Additionally, the law aims to prohibit the distribution of supposedly intimidating posters or flyers, with violators facing fines of up to €5,000. Meanwhile, the Federal Association for the Right to Life has criticised the federal government's proposed legislation, deeming it legally vague and factually unnecessary. On Wednesday, the Florida House of Representatives approved legislation prohibiting minors aged 16 and under from accessing social media networks. The bill was passed by a bipartisan vote of 106 to 13 and would force social media sites to cancel the accounts of anybody under the age of 17 and filter out underage users using a third-party verification method. The bill also compels companies to permanently delete personal information obtained from cancelled accounts and permits parents to sue those who fail to do so. The Florida State Senate will now review the bill. Sponsors of the measure argue that it is essential to protect kids from mental health harms, which they claim is related to excessive use of social media, leading to its addiction. Opponents argued, however, that the legislation would limit parental discretion and raise data privacy concerns. Catholics in the US are being invited to donate to the US Bishop's yearly collection for the Church in Central and Eastern Europe. The special collection, that takes place on Ash Wednesday in US dioceses every year, coincides with St. Valentine's Day this year. The donations are aimed at supporting the people in war-torn Ukraine and in 27 other post-communist countries. Through this collection, American Catholics have generously contributed almost $2 million in immediate humanitarian and pastoral aid to war victims, particularly since the Russian-Ukraine war started. The annual collection has also supported evangelization, pastoral care, and social outreach in Eastern Europe, while also funding war relief aids through Catholic ministries in Ukraine and in surrounding countries. In 2023, 329 grants totaling $8.7 million were awarded to the Church in formerly communist nations in Europe to support seminary education and the rebuilding of churches. Members of the Christian Association of Nigeria have expressed their appreciation for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's inclusive approach and positive initiatives since his inauguration in May last year. The association's president, Archbishop Daniel Oko, commended Tinubu for being sensitive to the challenges facing Nigeria. In a statement to journalists, Archbishop Oko said that the president has fostered a sense of belonging among Nigerians. He expressed optimism that given the opportunity, Mr. Tinubu would continue to make significant contributions to the country. The United Nations International Organization for Migration has appealed for $7.9 billion to tackle migration crises and conflicts. On Monday, the organisation made the plea in the face of the number of migrants rising to 117 million at the end of 2022. The Geneva-based agency's new Director General, Amy Pope, said that getting the job done requires greater investment from governments, the private sector, individual donors, and other partners. The group's global strategic plan invites many partners to work with them to achieve three objectives, those being working on saving lives and protecting people on the move, to driving forward solutions to displacement and facilitating pathways for regular migration. The funding will benefit 140 million people, including internally displaced people and the local communities that host them. The European Union is urging the World Health Organization to establish official relations with the Centre for Reproductive Rights, a global abortion law firm. Opposition from African delegations delayed the decision due to concerns raised by pro-life groups about the organisation's advocacy for abortion and LGBTQ+ issues. Pro-life groups argue against granting official status, citing the abortion group's alleged manipulation of international cooperation. The WHO Executive Board may vote on the application soon, but achieving a unanimous decision this week appears unlikely, with the possibility of deferring the decision to a later meeting. A poster campaign against China's breaches of human rights was launched on Monday, January the 23rd in Geneva by a number of organisations. The protest, jointly led by the World Uyghur Congress and Tibetan activists, was held at the Broken Chair Square opposite the UN Human Rights Council. The protest coincided with China's Universal Periodic Review, a process where its human rights record is examined by other member states, and hence the purpose of the protest was to bring rights issues to the attention of the international community and member states. There were about 150 participants in the demonstration. Other communities taking part in the demonstration included Falun Gong, Hong Kong residents, and Mongolians. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again next time for more. And do remember, you can always visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.